The most likely place that you will see Tesla's new battery technology, which it doesn't make itself, its battery partner makes it, is not actually in a Tesla vehicle. It's in some of its competitors' vehicles. The next battery to go into Tesla vehicles that will be mass manufactured, I don't believe, is the LMFP battery, the lithium manganese lithium iron phosphate hybrid battery pack that we have all been thinking would be the next Tesla battery. In fact, I think it's very, very clear based on the decisions of these three automakers in China that the next battery Tesla will use in its EVs will in fact be the Shenxing battery. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel, great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. There's a lot of conjecture about what Tesla will be using in its new batteries. We know that Tesla will use 4680 cells for a large number of cars that it will make in North America, right? It basically has to, because these LFP batteries, the Chinese batteries, the South Korean batteries that it's getting, well, they don't qualify for the tax incentives, and that's a big, big deal. So most of the batteries Tesla will use in North America will be 4680 or 2170 cells for as long as they can hold out with those cells. There's not a lot changing though in terms of 2170s. 2170 battery energy density and performance is not going to change much. We know that from what Panasonic have already told us. Right? Panasonic have already said 5 years time we think we can get a 5 to 10% energy density improvement. Very, very little is happening in terms of their silicon use. Unfortunately, it's going really, really slow for Panasonic. However, not so in China. 3 different Chinese automakers have already revealed that their next cars will use CATL's Shenxing battery, which is the next generation. It's basically version 2.0 of the current batteries that Tesla use in its standard range vehicles. The standard range Tesla Model Y, the standard range Tesla Model 3 that are sold all over the world. That's the battery in almost all of those cars. BYD do supply some Tesla Model Ys in Germany, but most cars worldwide, standard range Teslas, in other words, around 50% of Tesla's global sales use CATL's lithium iron phosphate batteries. Not the same technology, basically very, very different chemistry, energy density and chemistry and way of working versus 4680 cells or 2170 cells that Tesla make themselves or get from Panasonic. So what are these battery cells? Why do they matter? Well, 4C is the thing we're hearing about, right? 4C, 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 everyone's talking about 4C. Why does 4C matter? Well, because 4C charging is basically the next generation of charging. So everyone talks about 800 volt. That's the big focus here. It's not really as important as what people think. Yeah, you know, it's good. It's good to have, but really what matters the most is the actual charging speed of the battery, regardless of the battery voltage. Now, voltage can help. Increasing voltage can definitely help improve charging speed. But CATL's new Shenxing battery, which they announced approximately 2 months ago, is just version 2.0 of their current lithium iron phosphate batteries, but they're way better than the old version. And they're way better in all the areas that matter. Higher energy density. We don't know by how much, but they do have a higher energy density. What else do they have? Much better cold weather performance. In fact, CATL say they're barely affected by the cold. Even temperatures minus 10, minus 15 degrees Celsius, barely affected. That's a huge advantage because LFP batteries today, well, they do face some serious challenges in really cold weather. 4C fast charging. CATL say you can charge these batteries in 10 minutes and gain 400 kilometers of range within 10 minutes. We don't know exactly what that means, but the estimated charging speed is over 300 kilowatt charging. That's fast. What else do we know about these batteries? Apparently, they can be made on the same production lines. So CATL doesn't have to go and build out new factories, change out all their equipment, retrain all their staff. Basically, they can simply adopt these changes to their current production lines, which means it's very, very likely CATL will eventually roll these batteries out in Tesla vehicles. So why is it Tesla vehicles don't have these batteries yet? Well, I personally think there's a good chance the new Tesla Model Y Highland next year will have these batteries. But when Tesla began working on and building the Model 3 Highland, CATL had not yet revealed these batteries. So mass manufacture wasn't due to start until January of next year, and that's when they're going to start ramping. So they were clearly not in a position to supply Tesla with enough batteries, so Tesla had to make the decision to stick with the old version. How long will they stick with the old version? As long as they have to. I'm guessing Tesla wouldn't be too happy about the fact that 3 of their competitors will be using these batteries before they will be. I mean, Tesla is CATL's biggest customer by a mile. I mean, it's literally, Tesla takes around 50% of CATL's current production. By miles, that's their biggest customer. So how long will it take? Well, I would say maybe 6 months, but I don't know. Either way, though, when Tesla gets these batteries, it will drastically change the performance of their cars. So who are these Chinese manufacturers that will be using these batteries first before Tesla does? Well, one of them is Chery. And Chery say they will be selling EVs with CATL's Shenxing battery, which is basically Shenxing 4C, people are calling it, in Europe and in Asia and in various countries all over the world. That's their plan. They're planning to do that. Now, will that take a while? Yeah, of course. I mean, Chery don't really sell many EVs in many other countries outside of China, but they plan on doing so. That's their global takeover expansion plan. In fact, they say they want to tap into markets in Europe, the Middle East, Asian, as in Asia and Australia, and even North America. Now, there are 2 other companies that I haven't mentioned yet. One of those is Nita, or Hoson Auto, the parent company, but the actual car brand you've probably heard of is Nita. Nita say they will be using these batteries as of January in next year. The 2 companies have agreed to the supply of this technology. Now, Tesla, I'm assuming, have probably agreed to this as well, but they haven't mentioned this because they don't want to do this, because it would mean that their current cars they're selling to you would be considered obsolete. People will be saying, well, I want to wait for this new battery to come out. I'll wait 6 months. Maybe it'll be 6 months, even 12 months. I'll be willing to wait because this sounds a lot better than Tesla's current LFP batteries. So Tesla doesn't want to mention when these batteries will be available. Who else? The actual first car to carry this new battery technology will in fact not be either of those companies that I've just mentioned. It will be Chang'an's new Avatar 12. And this is a joint venture between CATL themselves. They have an interest in this company. So CATL are basically putting the batteries into their own car, but they're not a primary owner here. The company is owned by Chang'an, a state-owned automobile manufacturer. And of course, there's some investments from, like I said, CATL. And as well, I believe there's a joint venture investment here from Huawei. So that's the first car that will get these new batteries. So how do the batteries actually work? Well, they feature a new graphite anode. So it's not a silicon anode, it's actually a graphite anode, and a new electrolyte formulation. They have a thinner and safer separator. CATL says that these batteries are even better for avoiding catching on fire or having fire issues than their previous lithium iron phosphate batteries, and they have better ion transport. The battery has reduced heat generation and a new advanced battery management system, which CATL make themselves. CATL claim that the Shenxing battery fits any vehicle and works in any weather type. And the Ningbo-based manufacturer claims the Shenxing battery can be charged to 80% in 30 minutes, even at minus 10 degrees Celsius. So generally, LFP battery packs, even Elon Musk has said this as well, when you charge them in cold temperatures, they charge slower. CATL is saying not so with their new LFP batteries, that even charging at very cold temperatures, they will charge at the same rate. Now, interestingly, Nita will be launching 2 different versions of their cars. They'll have the CATL version with the Shenxing battery, but they'll also have a lithium iron phosphate blade battery version, which will be, I believe, possibly a cheaper version of the same car. However, BYD are also working on a version 2 blade battery. Word is they've also been working on LMFP batteries. In fact, they even applied for a patent in the United States for their new LMFP battery technology, which apparently they will actually use in trucks, buses, and all the commercial equipment that they manufacture in the United States. BYD are actually a pretty big company in the US. A lot of people don't realize that. So the new batteries of the future most likely will predominantly be LFP and LMFP. So if you want to hear more about that battery technology and the EVs that will be using those batteries, well, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.